Um, well, through this long process of thinking about should I go or should I stay, I talked to my family, people close to me, parents, grandparents were very instrumental in my decision today. I decided to do it a little early just to, clear the air so I could feel a little better about, about what I was going to do. I was very unsure, these past 3 weeks or after the season, I should say. But I'm here today because I have an announcement to make, and I would hope that everyone's happy about it. What I chose to do was I chose to come back to school, to the University of Arizona, and play football my senior year. It feels real good to get the weight off my back of the decision. I'm back at school, focusing on my degree and this program. I feel this program is headed in the right direction real soon, and I want to be a part of that. It was a decision made, by me. My parents always said it was my decision. I've always weighed the pros and cons, but I'm happy to know that I'm coming back to the U of A to play football with the group of guys that I've, come to play with for the past 3 years. Will Refontenot on the other corner, Dominic and Lewis Holmes, and, everybody, the whole team. It's just great to come back to it, and it feels real good.
How close were you to deciding to go? Were you ever at a point where, you know what, I'm going to go?
Yeah, it was a point where it was a point, of course, you really think about it. But through the process, I always, was taught patience in my life, and I feel that there were some goals I still wanted to achieve in college football, such as the Thorpe Award. That was a goal since high school, and I feel real strong about it. If I play well, I mean, it's nothing guaranteed to me, but I feel if I give it, my shot, then I could do it.
What is this? Talk a little bit about the whole process, like what you were hearing, and also the decision process. You talked about your family and everything that went into it.
What I was hearing was, if I worked out real well at the combine, ran well, then, teams could take me real high. And it was good things to hear, and you hear that across the board from people don't talk to each other, and that was, of course, convincing enough. But I still just waited patiently and weighed out all my options to see really wanted to do and really for myself and my family. They always gave me the pros and cons of going or staying. So that helped me a lot because they've been instrumental all my life. So it was nothing that I knew they would say that would, steer me the wrong way. And I came to the decision recently and feels good.
What were the pros and what were the cons that you were debating about?
Of course, the cons of coming back to school is will you get hurt and things like that. But, it's and the pros were, of course, I would graduate and, be a part of a good thing, and I feel good about that. And the cons of leaving would be not to graduate and things like that and be a part of what I feel is going to be real good here next year, years to come.
Me, huh?
I was asking where you were, but
Antoine, are you on pace to graduate next year, or what's the plan?
yes, I'm on pace to graduate 07, December. It feels real good to be that close, and I didn't want to let that slip away from me. That's been a lifetime goal of mine as well.
What's your dad say?
He was hyped up about it, of course, but he always stresses that he's a 4-year guy. He likes maturity, and ultimately it was my decision. So he put a lot of weight on making it my decision, and he didn't want to make a decision for me, but he would inform me on what he thought and what was best for me.
A lot of the internet sites all pretty much consensus have you as a first-round pick if you did leave. Is that what you heard from the NFL exploratory committee, or what did you hear? Did you hear you could go out?
Well, of course you hear those things, but it's nothing is guaranteed, with the NFL. So you never know. And I always said if there was any doubt in my mind, I would come back to school in a heartbeat. And I really like how the program is shaping up, and I want to be a part of that. The coaches, the team, everyone. So of course you hear those things, but you really have to just keep into consideration what could really happen and what could really not happen if you go.
What does it say about how good you think this Wildcat defense can be next year?
It says a lot. I think, you know, that it's a lot of guys that played a lot of football here can now just step up and make it that much greater, I feel. And, you know, the team is shaping up real well, I feel, and just to be a part of it is a good thing to be in.
Antoine, how much did the turnaround toward the end of last season influence the decision, or did it?
That did influence my decision, and I came here with, you know, the mindset to help a program turn around and be a part of it, you know, be a part of a team that's turning a program university around. And what I saw last year, it really influenced me, and I didn't want to, you know, help and then leave before, you know, we got to our goals of what we talked about in meetings and just team goals. So it was very influential to me.
Antoine, when was the moment that you realized, okay, this is what I want to do?
That was, I would say, the weekend before I came back. But I still took a couple days to just think it through. And I just was, you know, I grew up knowing that, you know, patience is a good thing to have. And so I just, you know, waited and was patient with it and tried to take the proper steps to making a correct decision.
You were back home?
Yes, yes.
Antoine, talk about two factors in your decision, Damian Hughes and making the bowl game.
No factor. You know, Damian Hughes is his own player in his own right. He's a good player, and he didn't influence my decision at all. This was, you know, this was about what I thought was best for me and what I felt I could accomplish here or wherever I was. But I made the decision to be here, so I feel it's the right thing to do. But, you know, the bowl game, of course, I want to get there. I want to help the team get there. It's a team effort, and I feel we will.
Anything else for Antoine? All right.
Coach, you switch places with him?
Do I have to? Well, I'd just like to say I can just push these over. We're really excited about. I wasn't for a minute yesterday when he told me he was leaving. My heart started to flutter in a bad way, and he held it out on me for about a minute. So I was pretty upset at the time, but just really pleased. Again, it was a decision that Antoine had to make. I told him how I felt, the pros and cons. It's not about his ability to play. He can come out and play. I don't think there's any question about that. I think it says a lot about his character, his belief in his teammates, some unfinished business here at the University of Arizona, and that says a lot about him. And I think his stock is going to go up and up. I think he's the premier corner coming back next year. To go into the season as the #1 cornerback or a preseason consensus All-American, I think it leaves his legacy. I mean, you know, he has a chance to go out like a Teddy Bruschi. You know, all the great ones here, you know, that's the type of player he is. And if we can accomplish, keep building what we built off of last year, then his legacy will ever be cemented in Arizona football. And when we get this thing turned around, people are going to associate that with him. I just think if he would have left, I just think people are going to look at him in a whole different light now. He's going to get better as a player. He's going to be more mature in a year's period of time. He just brings so many, you know, good things back to our program. So I was ecstatic. Yesterday was a great day for Arizona football in a lot of different ways. But I was recruiting Antoine all through the. I had my open calling to Antoine, so I called him all through the holidays and made sure he knew. He was the #1 recruit, and to come back with Will Ray Fontenot opposite him, Dominic Patrick, all three of our linebackers and all front four guys in place gives us great belief that we could be one of the premier teams in college football. We get things untracked offensively. We know what we can do defensively, and this team can be very, very strong with the nucleus of great players we have, Lewis Holmes, all those guys. So again, I was very. I thought he made a great decision. I just think, he positions himself very well, though, next year. I think there isn't any question, if he plays up to his capabilities, keeps improving like he has, he will be a first-round draft pick. And the money that he's going to make by coming back, if he was a third or fourth-round pick, it's not about making a team. You have opportunities to make money. You got to do it the best way you can, and I believe he's going to make a whole lot of money staying in school. I just believe that's what's going to happen. Sometimes you lose positioning by other positions coming out. You look at the top players, some of the Jarretts, the Adrian Petersons, Jamarcus Russells, all those juniors kind of push somebody else back as well. So it's not just your position. So I think he can be one of those types of players next year, if he continues to progress like I know he will. He'll be one of those guys.
Coach, what kind of advice did you give him, and did he come to you for advice during the process?
Sure, we talked a lot, and he talked to his position coach, Mark Stoops, as well, and I just relayed some of the things that I relayed to you, that I believe he can leave a legacy here for a lifetime. Not that he hasn't already, but there's something about turning a program completely around. He's been here every down, every start since we took this program in. I mean, he's one of the guys that have, are one of the cornerstones of this rebuilding process, and I think he takes a lot of pride in that. And we talked about, a lot of unfinished business that we still need to accomplish. But to beat Cal, to beat Oregon, to beat teams we hadn't beaten at the end of the year, I think it gives us great hope going into the 2007 season. With the addition of the changes we've made offensively. So we feel very confident in this program and where we're headed, that's for sure. And I know that played a big part. Antoine playing with 10 other starters, it's only going to make him a better player. And the accolades start coming to teams. We started winning, and we started getting all these, awards. And obviously it positions him well for next year. So, again, I just think he made a very mature and very wise decision. And it had to be tempting for him because I kept seeing these juniors come out, and that's what worried me. Antoine knows he matches up with Dwayne Jarrett. I mean, he guarded him better than anybody in the conference all year. So believe me, that somebody tell him he can't do something, that almost, makes him that much madder and stubborn. I thought the stubbornness was going to get him, opposed to being wise and patient, which he ultimately was, because he knows he can play. There ain't any question about his confidence. It's very, very high, and that's why he plays at such a high level.
Coach, you've coached a lot of great defensive players. Where does he rank at this point?
Well, to me, he ranks up there with a Derek Strait, a Roy Williams. He ranks up there with all the great ones we had. I know Coach Stoops coached a lot of great ones at Miami. And he brings, all the superlatives that, all those players have. His character, just what he brings every day is pretty unique. And to be great, I think you have to have those unique characteristics that he possesses day in and day out. And in the long run, that's going to make him a lot of money.
Coach, you mentioned some of the other juniors coming out. I'm sure you relayed the same kind of information to him. What are some of the dangers these kids coming out early face trying to play a game in the NFL?
Well, I think, being mature enough mentally and physically, for it, losing position by coming out early, I think you lose millions of dollars if you're not placed in the first round somewhere. If you go from a first to a third round, that's money you'll probably never be able to recoup. There's millions and millions of dollars. You can position yourself from a third round to a first round. I think that money is something that people lose and can never regain, and that's the problem with kids. So a lot of information is relayed by agents that have no knowledge. They try to lure kids in by telling them kids what they want to hear. Kids are very influential. But ultimately, it's your play on the field. Those agents can't do a doggone thing for you. Antoine's going to do it for himself by what he does on the field day in and day out. They watch every single play. Again, running a fast time, not running a fast time could probably hurt you, but it's ultimately it's how you play. And again, his play will speak volumes of where he's positioned, I believe, in a year's period of time.
So you mentioned another junior, Lewis Holmes. Do we take that to mean that he will be coming back next year?
Well, yeah, all indications are, we're gonna, all the guys that we're planning on being back are being, are back. Lewis is in full-time classes and is excited about, having the senior year. I think Lewis knows he needs a year to refine some of his skills. As good as he was, in a year's period of time, he'll be twice as good.
Chris Henry, were you kind of surprised his declaration?
I was disappointed, of course. I think Chris would have, could have really helped himself. I just wish he would have, taken more time in that decision. But, Chris thought that was best for him and his family. And, as disappointed as I am, I'm always going to support that decision. If he does things right here, with me, then he's always going to be in good standings with this program.
Have you talked to him since his decision?
Yes.
What was that conversation like?
Oh, just what I expected of him. I think Chris' reasons behind everything, I think were somewhat out of line and out of context. I think Chris again had a lot of opportunities to showcase his talent the second half of the season. We did some things obviously a lot better to put him in position to run the football. So, that being said, I think he'll get some good opportunities, but I think in the long run he could have benefited by playing another year, especially in this system.
Coach, comment on your seniors going to be playing in a few bowls, Nick Bowl, Steph Turner.
Well, I think Nick, Stepp, and Michael Johnson all had terrific years. I think all of them will have great opportunities to play at the next level. I think they've all showcased that. I think all of them will be, will be picked, and they bring. Those guys bring a lot of skill and a lot of toughness. I like all three of them, and hopefully we'll have some other guys that will have the opportunities. Marcus Smith. We'll see how some other guys do with their workouts with the pros here coming up.
Coach, do you anticipate hiring some new assistants in the next few days? Or?
Well, we have obviously two positions to fill, and we will fill those here in the upcoming weeks. I haven't made any decisions yet. We're trying to get a good fit with our coaches that we have here. I don't anticipate any coaches leaving, but we have to add to our staff, and we will here in the next few days.
Do you anticipate any shuffling in terms of?
There could be some shuffling in responsibilities, but like I say, I think we have three offensive coaches. We need to fill two spots.
How's the first month gone with Coach Dykes?
Great. I think the kids, watching BYU and Texas Tech play over the holidays, I think our kids were very excited to watch those programs move the football up and down the field, and it's going to be great. I think it's a good fit for our players we have in this system, and that's what Coach Dykes has relayed to me. Watching our kids play, watching our talent level at the wide receiver position, the running back, our offensive line. I think we're tailor-made for this type of offense. The hard part is getting it all in, over the winter and spring ball, and then summer, and getting it on the field ready to beat a team like BYU is going to be a major challenge. But I think our players are up for that.
Were you at the Insight Bowl?
Yeah, I was at both games. So I went to the BYU game and I went to the Insight Bowl as well.
Two pretty good finishes, or one in the Insight Bowl.
Well, Oregon wasn't much of a matchup, but the Insight, it was there's not many teams that can come down 31-7 6 minutes into the third quarter and come back and win the game. So
Was that encouraging?
I don't think we'll ever get down 31-7. I hope that wasn't encouraging, but that was it was fun to watch, and I was happy for Coach Leach and in Texas Tech. So you're never out of the game with those guys. I mean, they can move the football. They're very prolific in the way they do things. So I think all our kids are excited about that. And Marquise Hunley, the JC corner from Northern California. So we were, he's a kid that, really good player that fits into what we do, and really a strong kid that's going to fit in. It gives us some flexibility with Cam Nelson is a guy that we always thought can move to safety, and it's probably his more natural position. We played Cam behind Antoine last year as a terrific true freshman. So it gives us a lot of flexibility in getting Brandon Tatum and Cam Nelson back at the safety position. I think it gives us a lot more stability and even gives us more speed at those positions, because we lose a great cover safety in Mike Johnson.
Is Marquise in school?
Yeah, he's here. Oh,
He's looking at it.
yeah, I'm like, he's right. I didn't know he's here. I'm like, he's right here. Well, he's bringing him in here, showing him the ropes already. I mean, literally. You hope he's in that spot,
Gotta
huh?
show him the ropes.
Yeah, this is how it is, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just, our legacy with defensive backs has been pretty good, and Antoine and Mike, Will Ray, we've had great success with these guys because they're tough, they're hard nosed, they reflect how we coach, and Coach Stoops did a great job coaching these guys. We put a lot of time. It's been 3 years, in the making of these guys, and to see their progress. And Will Ray's going to be out with a shoulder, and I would imagine we'll play Marquise at probably wide corner or boundary. We got to see what position fits him. He has a redshirt year if we have both these corners in place. So it'll depend on what he feels and what he wants to do to maximize his talents to get him on the field as well. But he gives us, along with Mike Turner, gives us some huge skill at the cornerback position.
So Willard's out for spring, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he had a shoulder. Will Ray played a lot of the season with a shoulder separation, and had it taken care of. Him and Pete Granillo will be out for spring ball. Pete had the same thing. That shoulder Pete hurt in preseason, he kind of played with the whole year. So,
Antoine, Coach talked a lot about your legacy here. What do you want it to be?
That's a good question. I just came here with the mindset to, finish school, play hard, help turn around a program, and be the best person I can be for this community of Tucson. And I want people to just remember me for that, and that's pretty much it.
Coach, what are your current thoughts on the current bowl system, BCS championship formula and everything?
oh, I think probably a +1 game would be exciting for everyone. I think that would be the most, logical way to do it. I think it'd be a good way to do it.
Were you a little surprised how things ended on Monday?
Well, I think it showed the strength to me. Everyone talked about Michigan and Ohio State. To me, it should have been USC and Florida. So, we always thought the Pac-10 was the premier conference in college football, and the Southeastern were the two major conferences. We seem to get slighted, in the West for whatever reason. But the top of our conference really, showed what they're capable of doing. And, we beat everyone since we've been here except the University of USC, of Southern Cal. So, again, this is a very tough league at this time right now. It's the best it's ever been, I believe, in its existence. And, to go back and see how we toughed out 6 games, really, when I stepped back, really, made me feel good about what our kids, the toughness they showed, because it wasn't easy. Playing, when your offense is 115 out of 119, you're not going to win 6 games unless you're pretty doggone tough, or you play, a good defensive game and a good special team game. And for us to beat the teams we beat, I think speaks volumes of our kids and how much distance we've closed on everybody. That's a 20-14 game if we don't throw the interception on the goal line against UCLA. It's a 13-3 game. We fumble on the 7-yard line to give them the. So we know what we're capable of doing. Our kids are gaining confidence in those experiences, and we played almost one-sided in the UCLA game and the USC game. And now if we can get some points and move the football, we feel like we have a chance to be a very complete football team. And to win at the highest level, you got to have balance. And we weren't a very balanced football team last year for the most of the season. When we started to get balance in our offense, we started winning. And, that's the last piece of the puzzle. And I feel like for the first time, we probably have our best offensive personnel returning Losing a guy like Stepp is going to be a hard, Stepp's the hard guy to replace because he was kind of the heart and soul of the offense we had. But I look for a guy like Mike Thomas that really started to come on the second half of the season, come in and fill that role.
How's Willie T?
And having Willie back, I think our kids are excited. To not protect Willie is something that's really bothered me. I think that's something we will make a conscious effort, and Willie will as well. And a lot of that goes on the quarterback's plate, and that's what sometimes, Willie would get confused, or a protection would get called the wrong way. Somebody would break down, and that's what happens. So it's something that we're going to spend a great deal of time on. Willie is back in the fold. He worked out over the holidays, had no symptoms through his workouts at home. So, again, we're very confident he's going to come back and be 100%.
The new system will keep him a little bit safer too, right?
I believe so. Everything's in front of him. He'll be in the shotgun a good deal of the time, and I believe that's the best for him. And I think it's going to be a terrific. I think he fits that system as well as any quarterback could.
Coach, you talked about the loss of Steptoe. I mean, how big of a blow is the loss of Henry, given how well he might fit the system?
Well, that's Chris has some very unique qualities. He's very big, fast, physical. He's a very reliable blocker. So Chris played extremely well, I believe, the second half of the year. So, but Chris Jennings, I believe, is a very qualified player. In Xavier Smith, I think Xavier is a big-time running back. It's maturing. It just needs a chance to play. So I feel like we have two premier backs right now. Having Chris would have given us three, a guy with a little more maturity, but it doesn't look like that's going to work out. So again, then we'll bring one of these guys along, Glenn and Blasky, or we have some recruits that will come in and add depth to this crew. We have some great recruits too.
You want spring football start?
I don't know the exact date, but it's it'll be after spring break, March, probably 20th, 21st, something like that. That Wednesday.
Got it. It's on the schedule for 21.
Oh, I think that's it right there.
21 starts.
If we don't, that Wednesday.
Anything else?
Well, certainly appreciate it, guys, and like I say, I'm excited. This is a great thing for our program, that's for sure, and for Antoine and his family. I think it's going to be exciting.
Antoine, did you try to scare him?
Oh, yeah, I did.
He got me.
I
'cause
got him.
He can hold that. He can smile and tell you something that's not good. He's got that unique way of, what I mean. He tells me. I don't know whether he's playing or not.
So I had to get him one good time before he gets back at me.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it a lot.